Hey everybody, this is Bully Volt. Welcome to this channel. I hope you enjoy what you see. Now this dinosaur is a definitive staple in the dinosaur kingdom. It wasn't known as the tyrant lizard for no reason. Now let's delve into the mysteries that even paleontologists like to argue about and cannot decide on with this incredible dinosaur. Now, here, kind of bear with me a little bit. I had to write some of this down because honestly, all this information is just a lot to remember. So, the first mystery we're going to go over is the tiny arms. Why did the T Rex have such tiny arms compared to its massive body? Like, this thing was huge and it had little stubs for arms. Scientists still debate to this day on what it was used for, what this exact purpose for these tiny arms were. Were they for holding prey? Were they to help it stand up when it fell down? Was it for mating? I don't know about that one. Or was it just an evolutionary leftover that just didn't have any use at all? Honestly, until I did more research on it, I thought that, hey, this could be helping on to grab its prey. Like, they may be tiny, but they still got little grippers on there. But, you know, after doing this research, it made me think a bit more. Please, honestly, tell me. Tell me what you guys think that these little teeny arms were really used for, because it might just be more than holding on to prey. So, for mystery number 2, we have a very, very controversial one. Could the T-Rex have had feathers? Now, I know this is a popular debate between if this big old beast really had feathers or if it had scaly skin. So, tell me. What do you think? Because there has been some evidence of feathered theropods. Now, do you think that the T-Rex had feathers or was it scaly? Now, personally, I like to think that it's possible that they had feathers. Now, that might be just because I'm biased towards how it looks. I do think it looks kind of cool. But that may not be entirely historically accurate. But to this day, we still do not have conclusive enough evidence to prove either one of these theories. Tell me, please tell me, what do you guys think and why? So, we are moving on to mystery number 3. This one, this one might get you questioning. So, the question I have here, maybe what's going to make you think. Was the T-Rex bite too powerful? Now, think about that for a second. This dinosaur had the strongest bite out of any landman animal to ever exist. That's stronger than anything that we know today. How did its skull withstand that type of force? Now, it could have been, partially due to the muscles that we don't exactly, have access to. We just can see the skull. But how did it withstand it? With that much force is insane. And it did have unusual patterns in its skull. But is that really what helped it? So it didn't destroy its own head with how strong of a bite force it had? Please. This one this one's a tough one because I don't know how to explain it. Does anybody here, please let me know. What do you think? Was its bite too powerful for itself? Obviously not, because there's a whole bunch, but tell me what you think. Now, we are on to mystery number 4. Now, this one is a widely debated one. That may just be because I'm a dinosaur fan. I'm not sure, but I have heard both sides of this argument. And we are going to ask, was the T-Rex a hunter or a scavenger? See, the reason that we ask this is because in the movies it's portrayed, as an active hunter. Even in the movies, I'm not going to reference the movie, due to copyright, but when it's hunting the goat, it likes to hunt. At least that's what a famous paleontologist said in the movie. But the thing is, people have been arguing lately that it may have been a scavenger. It may have waited until it found something good to eat that was easy pickings, like a vulture. So tell me, what do you think the T-Rex did? Was it an active hunter, or was it a big old giant vulture? The mystery of the T-Rex senses. Now, we all know that it had huge brain areas that were linked to its senses. Ergo, smell and vision. Now, the question here, or the mystery more like, is could it see prey from miles away? Do you think it had that good of a vision? And could it see movement better than modern day predators? Could it smell prey? Could it see it from far away? Could it see movement? Because I know you're all thinking the same thing I do. That one movie, it can't see you if you don't move. May not be entirely true. And I know there has been theories linked to the T-Rex having extremely good sense of smell and extremely good eyesight. Tell me, what do you think? Could the T-Rex see very well? And could it track prey from a very far distance away? Or could it not see anything that didn't move? Now we're on to mystery number 5. Now this one is the T-Rex growth spurt mystery. Now what I mean by that is the younger T-Rexes were so much smaller and lighter compared to a full-grown adult T-Rex. Now, the mystery here is, did the juvenile and young T-Rexes hunt completely differently compared to the adult T-Rexes? If that's the case, they could have played an entirely different part in the ecosystem. They could have hunted completely different animals. But the mystery here is, did it? Because a lot of people like to argue that the adult T-Rexes stayed with their young for a long period of time and taught them how to hunt. Now, if that's the case, then they would hunt like their parents, like an adult T-Rex. But there's also people who speculate that's not the case, and that these juvenile T-Rexes hunted completely differently because of the size differential between the two. And they could have played such a different role in everything they did in their ecosystem. Tell me, what do you think? So, the next mystery we're going to cover is the T-Rex almost became a bird mystery. Now, we all know that birds are very closely related. They're basically living dinosaurs at this point. Aside from crocodiles and turtles, those are just from the era. But birds are basically living dinosaurs in today's age. Now, the question is, how close was the T-Rex evolutionary to the birds? And another question is, what would the world look like now if its line survived? Imagine that line was still here today. Imagine a big old bird-like T-Rex. It could be massive to the size that it used to be, or it could have evolved smaller. Tell me, what do you think? What would it look like today if its line was still around? Now we are on to our next mystery. And this one, this one's I remember this, going over this when I was younger. This one's about the T-Rex's brain. Now, I don't know about you. I used to always think that the T-Rex had a walnut-sized brain. Blame movies for that. Because the thing is, the T-Rex actually had a large brain compared to many other dinosaurs. Like, this thing may have been highly intelligent, but that is the question I'm here to ask, and the mystery surrounding it. Was it intelligent? Could it learn? Like, could it problem solve? Like, did it recognize things? How intricate was this thing's brain? Like, for it to be as big as it was and not the size of a Walmart like the movies like to tell us? Like, what could it do with its brain? What type of thoughts did it have? Was it just pure animalistic? Or could it learn? Could it think? Could it remember? Please, tell me what you think, because this is one that I'd really like to hear about. Now, for our next mystery, we have the T-Rex arrival mystery. So, we all know that this giant lizard walked around with some other giants. Two of those are including the Triceratops and the Dakota Raptor. Now, you might not know what one of those are. The Dakota Raptor isn't entirely a well-known species compared to the Triceratops. But the real question is, how often do you think they fought? You know, these things probably met quite a few times. Was the T-Rex avoidant of them? But we do have actual proof that these guys did duke it out sometimes. Like, imagine that fight. Now, how often did they fight? I don't know. That's a mystery to me, because you would think that two big old beasts like this wouldn't want to duke it out that much. But then again, it's a rivalry. But when they did fight, did they target the adults? You know, the ones that are big and strong already, try and test their power? Or did they target the younger ones? Did they target the sick ones? Did they target the babies? Or did they target injured ones? Which again leads to the scavenger mystery we talked about earlier. Tell me, what do you think these guys did in this situation? Now, for this mystery, we're coming to an end of our Tyrannosaurus mysteries. And for this one, we saved it for doozy. This one is the extinction mystery. Now, we all know that the T-Rex died out near the end of the Cretaceous era. And what did it die out by? A big old asteroid. At least that's speculation. But that's not the mystery that we're delving into. That's a whole nother thing. We have proof of an asteroid for that one. But this one is asking you, what if the asteroid missed Earth? What if it never hit Earth? Never did any of that. Nothing that ever happened back then even happened. Imagine that. Would it continue evolving in the way that it has? Or would something stronger and potentially more dangerous take its place? Please, please, tell me what you think. Because in all of these mysteries we have, what if everything that we know is wrong?